Welcome you all for this lecture on neural networks. In this lecture, I will discuss what is a neural network and what are the types of regression and how we can implement a logistic regression using neural networks. So let me start. First, we are going to see the definition of neural networks. So a neural network is nothing but a network which replicates how humans learn. So it is a network which replicates how humans learn the things from the real world. And also it is aspired by the neurons in our brain, how the neuron in our brain, biological brain fires. So it is aspired, this neural network concept has been aspired from the concept of how our biological brain fires. And also this particular neural network is used to solve non-linear problems. Usually linear problems are very easy to solve by the machines, but when we come to the non-linear case, it is very difficult for a particular machine to solve it. But for humans, the non-linear problems are easy to solve because of their experience, their understanding and their learning. Then coming to the fourth point, neural network consists of three layers. One is input layer, hidden layer and output layer. So here there is a basic construction of a neuron, a single neuron. So a neuron consists of three inputs. One is X, another one is W, which is weight or coefficient, and B is the bias. And it generates an output Y hat, which is nothing but an estimated output. So coming to the neuron part, it is basically divided into two regions. One is nothing but an computation. Here we are evaluating a function, and here there is evaluating an equation, and here we are going to derive a function. So this function we will call it as activation function. So A is nothing but an activation function, and here we are computing an expression. So basically inside the neuron two operations are happening. One is we are computing an expression, and also here we are having a function. We are applying a function for that equation, which is nothing but we call it as an activation function. Here is the basic model of a neuron. It is a single neuron, artificial neuron. As I said earlier, it consists of three inputs. One is nothing but X, which is an input, where W is the coefficient and B is the bias. So by taking these three inputs, there is an evaluation of an expression done here. Then application of a function which is called activation function is happening here. Then finally it produces an estimated output Y, which is nothing but Y hat. Right? So there are several types of activation. So coming to this activation function part, there are basically several types of functions available. It involves sigmoid function, then hyperbolic tangent function, then relief function. So there are other several types of functions are available. Activation functions are available. So today I am going to discuss only about these three functions, that is sigmoid, tan x, hyperbolic tangent function and relief function. So let me start with sigmoid. So here this A activation function is g of z, which is nothing but I am replacing this function with an activation function called sigmoid function, so which is represented by sigma. So this is a sigmoidal function. So what this means is, for this z is nothing but e power 1 by 1 plus e power minus z. So why we are going for this sigmoid function? So suppose if I am going for a logistic regression, then the output y hat should be between 0 and 1. So if I am in need of an output, estimated output, which should lies between the range 0 and 1. So that is why I am preferring logistic regression. So in order to make the output to be between 0 and 1, I am going for applying a function called sigmoid function, which is nothing but sigmoid of z. So assume that, so g of z is equal to 1 by 1 plus e power minus z, which we can assume it as a. Right? So what I am trying to do is, I am substituting a value for z, which is nothing but 10. So when we substitute the value for 10, that is z is equal to 10, which is nothing but I will get a value approximately it will be equal to 1. Suppose if I am substituting a value, a negative value, which is nothing but z is equal to minus 10, then you will get minus of minus 10, which is nothing but 1 by 1 plus e power 10, which is approximately equal to 0. So suppose if I am assuming value z is equal to 0, then my sigmoid function will become e power 0, which is nothing but 1 by 2, which is nothing but 1 by 1 plus 1, which is nothing but 1 by, that is 1 by 2. So in this case, my sigmoid function can be represented like this. Here it is 0, which is nothing but here it is 1. So what happens is, here the boundary has been altered between 1 and 0. That is, when z is equal to 10, when z is a large number, then the range will be between approximately equal to 1, and when z is a negative number, then its range will come to 0. Suppose if z is equal to 0, then the slope will be, which is nothing but it is equal to 1 by 2, which is equal to 0.5. So this is about the sigmoid function. So whenever we want to apply logistic regression, then we should make that activation function as a sigmoid function. So this is the first type of function. So when we apply a sigmoid function, it will bring the range between 0 and 1, right? Then coming to the next function, activation function, type of activation function called tanh function. In this case, we will have g is equal to e power minus e minus of e power plus e by e power minus e plus e power plus c. So in this case, we will consider this as an activation function, which is nothing but g of z is equal to this value. So in this case, when we assume that z is equal to a larger value, which is nothing but 10, then we will get a value approximately equal to, which is nothing but 1. Suppose we assume we apply a negative value, a greater negative value for this equation, then we will get a value approximately equal to minus 1. Suppose we apply z is equal to 0, then you will get a value which is equal to 0 for this equation. So what we will get is, we will get a function and a graph like this. So this is plus 1, whereas this is minus 1. So this particular tanh activation function has the value of range between minus 1 and plus 1. So that is the range. Whereas in this case of sigmoid function, the range will be between 0 and 1, because when the value of z is a negative, then in particular value g of z will be equal to 0. When it is a larger value, then you will get value of 1. So this is about tanh function. Next we are going to see the third type of activation function, which is nothing but the ReLU function. So in this case, we will have a function g of z which is equal to, the value will be 1 when z is greater than 0, the value will be 0 when z is less than 0, and suppose if the value of z is equal to 0, then this value is undefined. Right? So when coming to this ReLU function, if we substitute, for example, you will get an output graph like this. That is, so when the value of z is greater than 0, then it will give the output 1. When the value of z is less than 0, then the output is 0. And when the value of z is equal to 0, for this case, then it will be a value which we can assume it as either 1 or 0. So it depends upon our application, right? So this is about ReLU function. So what actually ReLU function is nothing but g of z is equal to maximum of 0, z. So this is the third ReLU part of function. And there is another activation function, interesting function, which we will call it as leaky ReLU. So in this case of leaky ReLU, it will generate an output. When z is greater than 0, it will give output 0. But when z is less than 0, it will not give the output 0. Instead of it, it will give a minimum, a negative, a small negative value. So that is why we will call it as a leaky ReLU.